Yeah. So how do we let go of this idea that we have to do it all? Like, we understand it logically, but there seems to be often a lot of women who struggle with the guilt. It's almost like a guilt when they first start delegating,
Oh,
like they
it
should
is
be
a
doing it
massive
all.
factor. Yeah, absolutely. I'm probably less prone to guilt. Like sometimes it does catch me, but if in doubt, always listen to Elsa. Let it go. Let it go. Listen to the song. She's got it all right. And I think it's just again, often it's obviously we've been conditioned, as you say, since we're
Mm,
little children, right? You're being a really good girl. You have to make everybody happy, look after everyone first, and be a good mommy, be a good housekeeper, etc. And then obviously, once we give up our careers to look after children, even if it's for a short period of time, we then all of a sudden self-identify ourselves with the role of a mother and a housekeeper, and we feel it is our role, because we're not contributing to the household, to save on everything else and get it done well, because we're all driven, right? And I think it's just realizing that you can only do one thing well and everything else just gets done, or maybe doesn't get done. And if in doubt, also just think, how would your partner do it? One thing at a time.
mm-hmm.
Every time my husband looks after the kids, everything else is a bombshell. And he'd be like, I've been looking after the kids, but why does the kitchen look the way it is? I've been looking after the kids. And so it kind of like forced me and other people also be a bit more realistic, right? Just don't put everything onto your plate and then wonder why you're exhausted, why you're grumpy, and why, you're probably angry at your partner for not picking up the slack, because first of all, they don't read minds, and second, they don't do two things at once. Just a fact.
That is so true. That is so true. Yeah. And I remember when I first got a cleaner, and I ummed and ahed about it for so long, because it was just this like, but I should be able to do it all kind of feeling, or, how can I expect someone else to clean my home? Because it was just a whole stigma around it that I got from somewhere. And but once I did it, I'm like, why didn't I do this so much sooner? Like, because it's so nice to come home and have a clean house and you don't have to do it. And my time is so valuable that I don't want to spend, a few hours a week doing it. I just don't. So anybody who's like sitting on the fence thinking, oh, I really do want to outsource or delegate some things, but I'm not. My suggestion would be just try it and see how it makes you feel, because that's what's important, right? How does it make you feel? And what other areas of your life does it bring such a massive payoff, such an improvement to?
Correct. And I think it's so important to actually, as you say, you need to start doing it, because the first cleaner, the first helper will not be perfect, because you are not clear about what actually makes you happy in the whole process, right? For some families, they just have one of our cleaners or helpers come through and they just tidy the place. They spend 5 hours tidying and cleaning the place. On a Friday, they come home and they're like, oh my God, we can start the weekend. We can actually live. Probably takes 10 minutes for the kids to destroy the place again, but you just need that happiness moment. And you need to give the things that will actually make the biggest difference, right? And make you feel better. And you will soon realize that maybe delegating to a nanny is probably not the best thing, because then you see another person playing with your child while you're stuck cleaning the kitchen, right? So maybe you need to hire a cleaner so you have more time and you can take your kid to the park, or draw with them or whatever, read them books. It is a process, and you need to figure out what's really, really important. And at the same time, you need to think you are actually creating a job for someone else. They can earn a wage, so they can facilitate something that's important to them. You are potentially facilitating someone to be more financially independent themselves. And that, again, makes you feel better. So you're not wasting money. You're actually creating a living for someone else.
Absolutely. That is an amazing feeling.